Mess with you.
Hello.
You
That was from
sounded
Miss
like
Doubtfire.
I was about to say
That's
that's
how I
just.
did it. That's why I
Oh
did it.
my
That
god.
was from Miss Doubtfire. If anybody know, but yeah, I did that the other day on the on the guys chat. I had soap all over my face. I was like, "Hello." Somebody tell me where that's from.
Hey. Hey y'all.
That's unscripted. We out here
Welcome
having
to
fun
welcome to an unscripted beautiful life. We
after dark, as Trina put in the in the message.
listen, y'all. Just imagine my face when I'm getting a text from him and he talking about the topic. And I was like,
Oh, what
oh,
happened?
we going
Oh,
there today. So what's our topic?
what you put in there? How you
Exactly what you sent me. The
all
affection
right?
and intimacy.
Affection and intimacy. Affection and intimacy. Ooh, sounds like put the women. Oh, not the women. I'm sorry. Put the kids to bed. This is not for the kids today. They don't need to hear.
I don't even think I want to be here for this.
No, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be graphic. But we gotta talk about it because
Do we?
this can affect relationships.
Okay, let's talk.
It can affect relationships. You don't think so?
I'm sure it is. I just didn't know
So,
we was going here, but hey, that's what we do.
well, you asked me for a topic this
I'm
time.
gonna have to start coming up with the topics then without and just saying, hey, this is what
This
I
what we
got.
doing. This what we
Because when
doing.
I
But
leave
no,
it up to you, I'm
we
just kidding.
we
Let's
done
go
had
for
some bangers. We
let's
didn't had some bangers.
hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
We done had some bangers. But yeah, so it's affection and intimacy. Everybody shows affection different. And I guess you can say your love languages is a part of this piece of it too, right?
I think that was a big key thing for us figuring out what our love languages were. Um, because I think both of us had ideas that each other's love language was one thing, and then we took the test and realized that it was something different.
Completely different.
So if you haven't taken the five love languages test, go take it. I think it is fivelovelanguages.com. Um, but go take it and go figure it out because like I said, that helped us figure out a lot of stuff because we were going in thinking it was one thing and it was completely different.
And it helps a lot. Uh I, please just try to take it. I I think Trina might have asked me a few times to take it, and I guess it's one of them things when you don't understand something and you don't know what it is, you don't know how to approach it, how to respond, even do you really want to do it type of thing.
What you was scared for?
Change,
Oh,
and not even so much change. Uh, it's difficult. I don't know, but fear sets in a lot of things. So when you don't know something and you don't want to gain to know it, that
hey,
could be freedom.
beautiful.
I said freedom. That could be freer because I said, let's see freedom
Okay,
come
let's
in.
talk about that though, because
That's
what
on my
was the fear?
guy. Going into something brand new, like even I had fears when it came to doing starting a marriage, start going to marriage counseling and going to marriage retreats. It was fear in that.
But what was the fear with the five love language test?
Um, I don't know how to. I don't know how to break it down. I don't know how to really say what the. Trying to say. I'm trying to think about it. With the.
You just didn't think nobody could tell you, or you just thought you knew what you knew and that was it?
I guess so. I guess that's the best way of
Okay.
putting it. Or like, how can somebody tell me what my how I love myself or how I love somebody else? You know what I mean?
So the test isn't for to figure out
But it's still to figure out your own love
right
language.
that part.
So it's like me taking a test, and then the other thing is this: anytime, and I speak for myself with this, I failed a lot of tests growing up.
So
So
there's an anxiety
that
over
too, That it's when you hear, like, most people, when you hear test, that's you clam up.
It's a quiz.
Mm-mm. Quiz still values the same as a test in
I
school.
know. I get it. I
So
get it.
so it that's the, I guess that was the biggest thing, was I gotta take a test, and then like, you can't fail the test, but can you fail the test? Because I say this: if we going through our lives and we think we're one way, our love language is one way, and we don't even know what a love language is at this point because we never heard of it. So if you're going through life and you're thinking that you're doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this, and you think you're doing it right, and you think you're being loved right, but then you go to take this love language test, quiz, assessment, and it tells you something totally different, and now it's like, damn, do I really know myself?
I think that for me that was like the beginning to us being able to have the conversation. Cause like in the beginning, it was just like, okay, you'll give me the gifts, Valentine. Let's talk about Valentine's Day since that's coming up. Like you'll give me all the little gifts. But I never said, hey, I don't want this, right? And so
Right.
it didn't matter. And I think that was like once we started having that conversation, then we were comfortable enough to be able to say, listen, don't take this personal, but I
I,
don't want the bears and the chocolates and all of those other things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was able to be able to say and voice my opinion to say, hey, I don't need this. This is what matters to me.
right.
Right. Because I think we go in the way we want to love somebody else is the way that we think they want to be loved because that's how we want to be loved. Right. But not realizing that the way we are loved, the way we want affection isn't necessarily the same way that our spouse, our partner will want to be loved.
Right. Right.
And if you don't have that conversation, then you could be like having some real marital issues because
That's
well,
why we
why
have to
she
talk
don't
about
want to
this.
do, why she don't want the gift. So why
Right.
she don't want to spend the
And then
time.
you're second guessing
You
yourself.
start second guessing yourself.
And so, and I feel like this is why we have to speak on
Hey, beautiful.
this subject as well, because we could help some people that may be feeling a type of way, and then you don't want them to feel that way. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you don't communicate effectively, because I always like to say effectively, if you don't effectively communicate with your spouse about affection, about intimacy, then how are you ever going to get them to understand how you feel? You know what I mean? So you can't just automatically assume because y'all been together for X, Y, and Z, how many ever years it is, that they gonna automatically assume that's how you want the affection to be. That's how you want the intimacy to be. So it's a difficult conversation if you're not comfortable talking about it. So it's one of the things, I guess, you started out by just asking that question: do you feel comfortable enough to have this conversation? Because she didn't really want to talk about this one right here. I just want to keep it 100, y'all. You know, we don't we family in this drink.
I was like, oh, we
We
about
doing
to put our
this?
stuff on Front Street.
I'm like,
He
we
was
gotta
like, no,
go.
no, no. Because listen, I'm going to tell y'all, this the text I got. And this the text I got. I asked him earlier, like, what's the topic? And I get a text. It says affection and intimacy. How do you like to express affection? What are your needs for physical intimacy? Do you feel comfortable discussing our sexual needs? So when I saw, I think the last question, I'm like, he want us to talk about but then when you cleared it up, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't mean because
Because
that's
I was
your.
like, oh, we really having a talking beautiful after dark. Like this really cool.
So got to. It's the only way you can keep it. That's the only way you can keep it. You gotta keep it 100. Hello, Team Charles. And Miss Frida and Miss Johnson. So you have to now. We don't have to get into the details of where we do things and those things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, God is helping me use my voice, but I ain't ready to open up the doors and be like, listen, this is what we do. That would be like a conversation we would have to bring Lavon on for. Lavon deals with she's called what is she called? She's the erogenous coach, but
I
she
remember her.
helps couples
Yes.
in
Yes.
the intimacy area. Not even she'll help you.
So
So if
we'll
you
come
got some,
back.
yes, this would definitely be a conversation that if I had known, I could have said
No,
to
no, no.
her.
This gonna be the PG-13 version.
Well, we got the okay.
And then we're gonna get the rated R version later. We going
We might have to
13
move the
today.
time for that one, so it ain't no kids up.
We're not going BET uncut, babe. We don't have to go that deep into it. We not going that deep for those that remember the BET uncut days. But no, it's I just felt like this was one thing that we haven't discussed in our unscripted beautiful life.
We have it.
And so
you said New Year, new us.
New
right?
Year, I told y'all we was coming in with bangers, man. We was gonna ease y'all in and shoot y'all out like a rocket, you know. But have that difficult conversation for I'll say this for men, you know, if you don't feel like you might be receiving enough, talk to her.
Can I ask, why is intimacy a difficult conversation?
It might not be for everybody.
No, but for you're right.
But
you're
for
right.
some people,
Alicia said she won't be up here.
I mean, I guess for some people, because it's well, let's say, are you asking why is it a different conversation to have with people in public or with one another?
With one another, right? Why? How come sometimes that can be a difficult conversation?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I don't never want you to feel like a piece of meat. So, if now when I say that, because if you understand,
clean it up.
no. If y'all understand breeding, okay. I told you I bring animals, life into things. Okay.
God, wow.
I was watching. I want to say National Geographic. It might even been YouTube, and they were talking about there's one steer. I want to say it was a steer. I think that's what they call the male bull.
I was about to say, what's a steer?
It's one bull.
Okay.
That's like the biggest masculine one, and he gets all the heifers he wants.
Okay.
And he's a piece of meat. He don't do nothing.
Or they are.
He is.
Oh, because he just okay.
He just slinging wood. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. That was a little bit past PG-13. He don't have no other functions but to just breed the heifers. And I was like, dang, that's
Alicia.
That's
I'm
crazy.
asking the same thing.
So it's like, dang, that's kind of crazy. So as us as males, we may want it way more than y'all do. I don't know. I can only speak for myself, you know. So you don't want it to be like, oh man, again? You want again?
No.
You're going again?
Are you answering my question? What did I ask you?
I don't know. What you ask me? Because I was just going on. I was just going in. All right.
That's why I'm pulling you back.
All right, go ahead.
I asked, why is intimacy a difficult conversation?
Oh, I said because
you said you don't want me feeling like a piece of meat. That's what you said, but I'm trying to wait till you get there to understand.
Because like I said, because I could possibly want to go a little more, and I don't want it to feel like, dang, that's all I'm here for. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're looking, you trying to make sure your ego doesn't get hurt in the process, and so
my ego.
Now I'm just saying, because I think I'm just hypothetically talking, right? That I think intimacy is a hard is a hard conversation sometimes, because I think we all come into come into it knowing like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do, right? And so you think, you know what I mean? Like you think you got it all together, right? And then it comes down to it, and you like, that's all you did. You know what I mean? But you don't want to. You don't want to. Uh, you don't want to. Um, you don't want to hurt, bring it up because you are like, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it because if I say it, then her feelings gonna be hurt, and then I ain't gonna get none. You know what I mean? So like then now you like, oh, I'm not gonna. We can't talk about this because egos get involved, and people aren't willing to hear the truth because they come in with the mindset of, oh, I know I can please her, or I know I can please him, and so now when your bubble get burst because you really didn't, you know what I mean? Like then it's a whole nother
Okay,
thing. I don't
and
know. I'm just asking.
now I'm glad we're going there, because then, as male or female, and like you saying you don't want to burst any bubbles. So is there a way that you could tell your spouse like, hey, can you try this? So that way, like
I
I'm
think
just trying to help out those that might have these questions, because there's some people, like you say, intimacy could be a very difficult conversation because egos can be involved, thinking that you out here doing what you do, but you're not really doing what you do. You just pleasing yourself. And so it's like, I guess that's why it could be a difficult conversation for everyone, and for spouses and things like that. Because like you said, at the end of the day, but is it fair to yourself?
it's not.
So
But I
how?
think we sacrifice ourselves a lot of the time until we realize I'm now going to put me first or put my needs first or say what my needs are.
So that's where I'm at, to say, how can you say this or show without bursting bubbles?
I think you just got to be open to the conversation and not worry about taking anything personal. If your relationship, right,
Don't take it personal.
is built on how can we make us better in
Yep.
all
Yep.
the areas,
Mm-hmm.
then if intimacy is one of those things where we need to have the conversation, what is it that you like? Do you like me to touch you here? Do you like, all of those different things? I think that's where you have to start, because if you never say this is how I like to be touched, then the person just continues going on like, oh, this is what she like. But in your mind, you like, I really wish it was just hurry up. Right? You know what I mean? Because you're just like, I'm here. I gotta, the person has to be pleased, but you're not into it. You're not joined. It's not the physical intimacy, the spiritual intimacy isn't there, I guess I should say, or the emotional intimacy.
I mean, I guess you could say,
All of those different
yeah.
things.
All right. So,
Yep. Team Child says we got to stop mind reading and use our words.
so again, as a male, as a male, and how do you do that? Because no matter how you say it, no matter if it's male or female, someone could take it personal.
You're right. But you also have to understand that if my spouse means this much to me, then I have to put my feelings to the side. Because if my
Right. Okay.
spouse's
Okay.
needs make
Not
it,
not are
if
not getting met.
not get aren't getting met, not even getting met, but just like
I'm
if
sorry,
I
y'all.
don't know, if someone X, Y, and Z doesn't please me, I need to be able to voice that, and I need you to be able to be open to receive that, so that you, because I'm
I'm listening. It's just something in my
because
eye.
if you can touch the parts of me that I really want to be touched at, you know what I mean, like not the and all the different levels, right? You get so much more of that person than if you just like, oh, well, this is what I think. But if that person doesn't want to be touched a certain way, you're not going to get all of them completely. Does that make sense?
Okay, so now how do you, as the person that's not being touched right in these things, do you just out and just say it? Do you show them like what
I think that's I think that's the
for
it's the
for the
for the
two?
two of you to figure out, because you don't want to say it while you in the act, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the best time to do
It
it. Like
might be. You know what I'm saying? It
maybe
might
maybe
be.
you soften it and be like, hey, what about this? Why we let's try this, right? Let's do this. And while you're in the intimate parts of things, because that's when it's less likely for somebody to get an attitude. Like, come at it from the
Yeah,
perspective,
yeah, yeah,
how
yeah,
can
yeah.
I
You right.
get, how can I
Because
communicate to my
we there.
partner? You're there, right?
Yeah.
So how can I communicate to my partner that this is how I want? Just like, hey, you open to trying something different and go from there
In moderation.
in moderation.
Yeah. Moderation, because there's some things that
Alicia said,
there's some things that may be off limits. And
look
no,
what Alicia said.
so let's go there. Let's go there because I live in there's only one perfect entity, and that's God. So practice makes better. So let's just keep trying to get better and keep practicing to get better every day. So this is just what I live for my when I talk to my kids, because like I said, I grew up with the practice makes perfect, and then people striving for perfect, and we're never gonna get perfection because it's only one perfection. And so, but practice does make better, and keep practicing. But if you keep practicing the same play and that play not working, then you got to audible, right? You got to
Yeah.
pivot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying you have to do what's best for you and yours. Is it doing the timeout or is it doing the play? You got to figure that out for yourself. I think y'all should try doing the play just to see. If that don't work, call a timeout in the middle of the play, realign some things, run the play, run a different play,
Sir,
run a different play.
that was
Y'all with me? We all together. We trying to keep it PG-13. You know, we trying to keep it PG-13.
this is why I should have said no. We're not talking about this.
No, because it's some more here. They be like, dang man, we should have been caught the timeout and ran another play.
She said practice makes everything.
For
But
everything,
listen,
for everything, everything. The more you cook, the better you get. The more y'all do things, the better you will get at it. But again, as the spouse, all right, we're practicing, but you're not liking the play that's called. Then the best thing we gotta go get the door because ain't
that's
nobody
Ari.
here. I'll
Hold
be
on,
back.
y'all. You gotta look at the game. Listen, y'all talking about game tape. Y'all crazy, but he right. He upset talking about touch the game tape. But all of those are valid points. Oh, that's funny. Y'all crazy. Hold on, y'all. He's coming back.
Yeah.
Don't you fall down them stairs.
But it was funny because as I was running up, I did hear somebody say check the game tape. Now y'all going past PG-13 if you playing game tape, y'all. All right. We not going there. But if that works for you, it
Oh,
works.
that's where you went with the game tape. Oh, never
No,
mind.
Tiff went to the game tape. I was just
I
talking.
think that's Rick on Team
Oh, yeah, nah. But check the game tape, man. If that's what y'all doing, it's y'all. That's in your house, your back seat of your car. No matter where you are playing your game, go back and check your game tape.
We need a new topic
And
now.
so now, so now this is the thing.
Jay, you gotta
You
go back.
now she came in at the right time because now Jay gonna be in. Now we are in for a game show today.
Oh Lord.
But so again, and when we say game tape, right? This don't necessarily mean actually recording yourselves and checking the game tape. It does, but it don't have to. Game tape can be after we finish. What you liked about that?
Oh my God, then you gonna talk about
Yeah, that's checking the game tape. What could I have done better on that play? You know,
you
but
gotta be prepared for that conversation though, because what
But
What if?
so all right, we in going on 14, 14.
Mm-hmm.
And 14 years, if you can't tell me something about what I'm doing wrong on on game day, I got a problem. Okay,
You
I
right.
got a problem, and then vice versa. If I can't tell you something that you're doing wrong on game day, there's a problem there because we probably should have been talked about that. So these conversations are necessary. Yes, everybody don't want to have these conversations publicly, but I didn't want to have this. I didn't want to start this, but I'm glad I did because it helps so much. And babe, don't look at me
You
like
ain't
why you
want to
want.
start what? The show?
Yeah,
Oh.
and you know why? I told you why. I told you why. But when that birdie keep talking and singing to you, you can't turn the bird off. You got might need to make them do on it. Um,
I can't. I cannot with y'all.
you got. I mean, but we all adults in here.
Yeah, you're right
Yeah,
about
we all adults in here. But
it.
again, then we don't need to check no game tape if you done went to sleep. You might have played a good game. The game might have been good. And then like you said, if it wasn't, try again tomorrow because practice what makes better. Keep practicing. That's the great thing about that's
Jay.
that's the great thing about this thing we got life. Is you could keep trying. You keep trying.
Okay, so let's talk about. We talked a lot, I think, about the physical intimacy piece of it, but I think for women, right? I'm saying women because this is just how we are in nature. That there's also the emotional component behind it.
Of course,
What does that look like?
it would be different for everybody, right?
Just in general.
Emotional, like in the time of the situation or
Like
leading up to it.
like because we're right as women, we are doing so much. Most of majority are, taking care of the kids. However, so there's a lot going on already in our mind. So it's like you got to get prepared mentally to keep the intimacy piece because to be like, oh, I'm ready. Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like it's
Everybody don't just turn a light switch on and be ready.
Alicia said we need to bow our heads in prayer.
But let's go back to Rick because it means pay attention to what worked and didn't work in the past. Game tape applies to the whole relationship, so it's not just in that moment.
Yeah,
and so I think that's also what you're saying when it comes to the intimacy, not intimacy. What you say? Affection,
the emotional, the affection part.
part of it. So then that goes back to the love languages as well.
It's knowing that piece of it.
It's knowing that piece because knowing what your spouse's love language is could help move her.
It's
Could help
like
move him
the bedroom begins before you get to the bedroom.
Before you get there.
Because there's the there's the mental piece of it, right? It's the little texts throughout the day. It's the those type of things. It's the little conversations. It's the pieces to say, listen, I see you. I need you. I want you. Those type of things. And then like, oh, when we get home, it's on and pop. You know what I mean? Like it's preparation. It's not just let me do a touch of here and a touch of there. Like it's way before that.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
No. I said yeah because I thought you was about to keep going.
No, I'm good.
So showing up with flowers, that work?
Flowers are good.
Like no,
Yeah.
I mean like might be at work or something like that.
Jay said the before foreplay. See, here we go.
Yeah, so that we can't put foreplay in here. We can't do that because that's R. Kelly. So we can't put that in here. Those that still listen to him, by all means, by all means. But yeah, so that
The kiss on the forehead, the hug. Yep, all of that.
So there's physical touch there too, but there's also physical language. You know, when you like, when you know what I mean when I say
Yep,
that?
words of
Yes,
affection, words of affirmation. Yep,
yes.
spending time.
But what? Okay, okay, we got the words of affection.
Hmm.
What if you're spitting the words of affection, but the spouse don't receive them because they don't see what you see?
Oh, so um that's something that I think you just have to keep affirming your spouse in, because the spouse may not. I'm saying this from me, right, from my perspective, where all of the times you would say the things, all of the things, and I couldn't receive it because mentally I wasn't in a good place. Like mentally I didn't see myself as beautiful, mentally I didn't see myself as desirable, you know what I mean, because of everything that I had gone through. And it's not until you can let that guard down and realize that you're in a safe space, and that I can be as free and as open with my spouse as need be, because he or she is not going to hurt me. And then it's like you let the walls down, and it's like, okay, it's on now. Cause you know what I mean? Like you learn to release the limiting beliefs, the negative thoughts, the trauma that sometimes may have happened, all of those different things, because your spouse, your partner has helped create a space where you're like, I am going to be okay in his arms, in her arms, and that he or she is not going to hurt me. And so I can be as free as I need to be in this moment.
So, fellas, if it's not happening, let's work.
Yeah, but it's not sometimes, it's not always what y'all have to do, right? It, in terms of like more work that you have to do. Yes, keep saying the I love you, keep saying the beautifuls, keep saying all of the different things that need to be said, but it also has to be, the spouse has to be willing and open to release what's hindering them from being 100% free with your spouse.
So, we're gonna go with Alicia said. It said you can't make believe I'm not amazing. Hair looking crazy and all. We're in too deep. So yes, when you're when y'all are think y'all are at y'all worst, we still see that beauty in you. You know, and I guess it's hard to continue telling, if you keep saying that to the person, you're beautiful, you look good, and like you got to see what I see, but they don't see it. That's It's hard. That's
It's
it's
definitely
difficult.
hard. I know it was hard
uh
for you.
because it's like I really mean what I say. Like, why does she not understand? Like, I tell her all the time, I wish I could we could just switch places so
You
that
say
she could
eyeballs.
that too. Take these jumps out and hands. Cut these hands off and just
Oh my god.
switch them, and then you will
Oh,
see and
but
feel what I see and feel.
but I think that's where, no matter what you say, if the person isn't willing to do the deep work, right? Do the reflections, do the journaling, doing the forgiveness
Mm.
for whatever self or others, for learning to love themselves. There's nothing that you could say or do to make them truly see and feel what you
What you
see,
see.
because there's that block there, right?
So is it trying to help out those that may have some questions? How do you continue to move forward if now, all right, let me say it. So how can you get the person to see what you see? if you're giving them the positive things, you're doing certain things, like how.
I think you have to go in with the understanding like I'm not giving up on you regardless of how long it takes. Because healing isn't an overnight thing,
Mm-mm,
right?
mm-mm.
And
And neither is
so
rebuilding.
neither is rebuilding, but you have to understand that it's going to take patience. It's going to take time. It's going to take therapy. It's going to be a lot of prayer. It's going to be a lot of different things that are going to help, like, knock the blocks down, like, break the walls down.
Hmm.
But until it's like truly the person that feels the limiting beliefs, that feels those different insecurities, until they absolutely see the light or even just a partial piece of it, you'll never be able to fully get through all the way until they make the choice like, hey, I don't want to live this way anymore.
Got you.
It's like you
Y'all hear
really
that?
gotta look in
So
the
don't give
mirror.
up.
You can't give up. And I think that's where a lot of relationships end up failing, because the person wasn't willing to
Fight.
fight for it,
Or
or
be
patient
patient.
enough, or
Yeah.
understanding, showing empathy. But I also think too that a lot of times the relationships fail because the person that suffers the trauma, the limiting beliefs, all of the things that are hindering, isn't willing, number one, to admit that there's a problem, right? To say, I don't understand why I feel this way, and actually do all of the work that's required to be able to answer that question, right? Because you thinking, I was talking to Kayla, and some couples or a person in a relationship, right? When you are, um if you look at that person's family dynamics,
Hmm.
right? Maybe that person's dynamics, maybe the parents and their mother and father didn't display intimacy, right? You never saw the affection, you never saw the kisses, you never saw the hugs. And so the child thinks this is how it's supposed to be, right?
Hmm.
So they now are older and get in their relationship and they don't know how to show affection. They don't know to say I love you. They don't know to give hugs. They don't know to embrace because they never had an example of that. So in their world, they're thinking it's normal.
Right.
But the spouse is like, nah, I saw my mother and father hugging and kiss, all the time. And so it's like you got to look past the dysfunction, like how we were talking about before. Not everybody comes from the same experiences of you.
Yeah. Same makeup. Yeah.
And you got to understand that that's where it's really key in communication, to be like, listen, I'm not saying anything was wrong with the fact of your mother and father because they're married, all of
Right.
those different things, but it's okay to show affection. It's okay to be intimate. It's okay to, show and tell me
So
you
yeah.
love me, because that's what I need. Like, you got to be willing to have that conversation, but you got to also understand that not everybody comes from the same experience as you.
You're right. 100%. And I tell people that all the time when people ask me why, they say, what, Dre, what? I say, man, listen, man, my wife helped me to see things not a one-sided way, which is my way. I got into it with a coach, and not non-physical, just some words. And she kind of broke it down to me like, Dre, just because how you was raised, how you was brought up is the right and end all be all way of things. So you have to be able to see things full circle. And that's another thing before we even dive into, say you got into a whole relationship. Check the makeup of your boyfriend, of your girlfriend, just to see the family dynamics of how they were brought up, how, and have those questions. Man, did you see your mom and your dad show affection? If you did, what did it look like? You know what I mean? Because it's no not the trend. She don't like when I try to kiss her in public. Do you? Be honest.
I'm learning.
Be honest. You gotta
I
be
am
honest, man.
learning. I'm learning.
So, um,
Yep. Jay said our way is not the only way.
right. So That's why I have to give my wife her flowers now because I still be the same. What's the word I'm looking for, babe? I don't want to say ignorant, but the same tough headed person. Like, nah, it's my way or no way. You know what I mean? But then that affected me in so many relationships and friendships and things like that. That because I always seen things my way, the only way. And then even just on like Trent said on how you was raised. Somebody else being raised a totally different way to you don't mean that it was the wrong way. You know, it was just that's the way they were raised and that's how they were. Yeah. Yeah. That's just how it was. So man, see, this was a good one. I didn't think so. But because this might have helped us out more than you even thought yourself.
I'm telling y'all, it was just that last question of that text that threw me off.
I mean, but see, those all right. So even in that, the last question, that's not for everybody. You know, it wasn't, and that was, excuse me, that was just when I was looking up things. Those were like the top three questions. I'm sorry, y'all, I got the hiccups. Uh, those like the top three questions
I
that was
get it.
up
I
there.
get it. I get it.
But did we even touch on any of them? We're going to it.
Okay. Um, I think we talked about them. The first one was how do you like to express your affection? That was talking about the five, knowing what the five love languages are.
Mm-hmm.
What are your needs for physical intimacy? I think it all boils down as how do you want to be loved and not being afraid to communicate that. Right? We can't just automatically assume that our spouse wants to be touched or loved and one this way, and that's not how it is. And you
Right.
got to be comfortable enough to be like, up, flag on the play. I'm calling the whatever.
Or you could say, I'm challenging that flag. Just pull it back.
That too. But I'm just saying, I think you have to be if you are
Don't
truly,
take it
do
personal.
not take it personal. That's it.
Because at the end of the day, if you want the intimacy and the affection to look like you want it to look, then don't take it personal if your spouse was to say, hey, I don't like when you do this, could you try this? Or I don't like when you do that, let's try that. Nothing weird. Keep it. No, can't tell y'all what to
I
do.
was
This
about to
y'all.
say, how you
This
gonna
y'all
tell
thing.
somebody?
This y'all thing. I'm sorry. I guess that's
And
why
your definition of weird may not be somebody else's definition of
you
weird.
absolutely
So
right. You
you
absolutely
can't
right. So
say
I can't
that.
say
To
that.
each his own.
Yeah, you're
Listen,
right. You absolutely
figure it
right.
out between you and your spouse. Do what you do.
You are absolutely right.
Be
So
safe. That's all we're gonna say. Be safe.
be safe. Is it? Can you be safe with your own spouse?
I mean, you can't, yeah, because if you talking about chains and whips and all of those other things, like that's
Be
how, yeah, you
safe.
gotta be safe.
Be
So
safe. Some of y'all might want some hot candle wax too. So be safe with it. They can cause third-degree burns.
oh
Be
my
safe.
gosh, this is not, bring it back in, bring it back in, bring it back
No, but
in.
it's all in it because we got to make sure we put that disclaimer in there too. This be safe when y'all do your things that you do. No hanging from ceilings. If you have a back problem, no jumping from turnbuckles. All those things. All right. Be safe. We don't want to have to come
I
and get
cannot.
anybody
I
out there
cannot.
out there safe space because they weren't safe.
Don't be sending no SOS messages because
I'm not coming. I'm sorry. That's why
we'll
I put
call
my disclaimer.
911
Put
for
my
you.
disclaimer in early. And they'd have heard it all. The
I'm sure
911
they've
had heard
seen
and
it
seen it
all.
all. Yeah, yeah. So call
Oh,
them first.
mm-mm.
Call them first. But again, have those difficult conversations because it may not be difficult. It just may be difficult for you because you're thinking that and you can't read minds. So if you don't like or you think she doesn't like this, ask the question. Do you like this? And if she say no, don't take that drink personal. Just fix it.
I'm not
All right.
messing with you,
What I
Jay.
need to do.
I'm not messing with you.
She said I'm hanging from everything. Listen, don't worry about no weight, man. They make beans and stuff strong enough. You good. Do it
Oh my
now. Have
God.
fun. We only get one of them. Go with it. You'll be all right. 911, speed dial. Just remember that. All right. You're gonna have
I
fun.
cannot.
You have fun. Have fun with it. Life. You trust. Let's have fun. Have fun, y'all. But this
I
this one,
cannot.
this I love this one. I love this
I
one
bet you
because
did.
we probably helped out some people. Right, helped ourselves out. We don't know. We will find out. You want anything else?
I ain't got nothing else.
No, 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 no.
I ain't got nothing else. So listen, had a conversation that
Don't
you
be
need
afraid.
to. Do not be afraid to have the conversation because you do not know what the other person is thinking, right? We always make assumptions
Mm-hmm.
in our minds. And so, because of that, that may not be the person's reality, that may not be their preference. So, have the conversation. Don't be scared. If there are any um, things that are hindering you mentally, get that cleared out first because if you got a whole lot of negative stuff going on in your mind, you'll never be completely free and open to experience the intimacy, the affection between you and your spouse. So that's the first part. You got to get your mind right.
And you'll see a difference.
You'll see a difference.
You'll see a difference in yourself, and then you'll see a difference in your spouse. But it's definitely been fun. It's definitely been real.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure he will.
Don't be telling people what I'm about to do. They can see it in my face. Then they like,
You
yeah,
already
he
thinking of
he
stuff.
about to get off this junk. No, I can't. The kids ain't sleep. They got 2 hour delay tomorrow. Dang, going it. Tell me
Listen,
we gonna put them to bed.
thank y'all for joining us for an unscripted, beautiful life when we're talking intimacy and affection. Have the conversation. Go do the 5 love languages quiz. Find the love language of your spouse. Learn to love your spouse the way that they want to be loved. Don't just assume that you know
Ask that question,
based
please.
on your past relationships or based on how you want to be loved because
It's not the
that may
same
not be the same. And if you've taken the quiz before, take it again because you never know if the love language has changed.
because it could change.
Listen, because when you find some healing, the words of affirmations may not hit the
The
same
same, yeah.
as they did before. So listen, go take it,
Take it
retake
again.
it again.
Because it like say you took it 5 years ago. You've changed in 5 years,
Yep.
especially if you've been working on yourself. And then take it again as a couple because if you took it your first year and merged together, y'all have worked on each other to get better. That could have changed between y'all two as well.
Yep.
And if your spouse says that you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, don't take that personal
Definitely don't take it personal.
because she's not there to hurt your feelings. He's not there to hurt your feelings. They're there to make sure you both get what y'all need. So thank you for y'all being able to stick around with us on this PG-13 topic this evening. But we're gonna probably revisit this one a little deeper with what was her name again?
Lavon.
Lavon. I was about to say another name, but I'm glad I did it because I thought you said Lavon, but it's Lavon.
Lavon.
I got you. I
Remember
got you.
purple?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. Once you said it, I remembered. But I didn't want to say, like I said, I was gonna say Lavon, but it's Lavon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you on here, we're gonna be knocking on your door. We need you. All right. But yes,
All right, y'all.
everybody, let's leave on with this. Try to be there better than you were today. Love you.
Thanks for joining us. We'll talk